Greetings, MGTOW. This is Neo, I believe. I'm with you again with another video. And I've wanted to make this video for years now. I've never really planned it. As you know, most of my videos are just one and done. There's no script. It's just from the top of my head. I've wanted to talk about Latinos in MGTOW. And why do I want to talk about Latinos in MGTOW? Well, because I want to see more of the Latino community waking up, taking the red pill, and the men going their own way. What I've observed is a ton of gynocentrism in the Latino community, much more than it is here in the Western world in the United States of America. With the Latino community who migrates here to the US and they have kids who are now Latino Americans, the gynocentrism follows suit. It's kind of like the MGTOW philosophy is almost impenetrable to deep-seated Latino roots of male cuckism. Now, I'm not bashing my Latino brothers. No, I just want to see them waking up. I want to see more of them in the community. Now, MGTOW ranges from men of all walks of life. You've got black men, you've got white men, you've got men of European descent, you've got men from Canada, men of the Aboriginal and the Australian sect. We've got plenty of good brothers who are from India. We've got MGTOWs from Africa and Africa descent throughout the Caribbean, such as St. Lucia, Haiti. And we can't forget about our MGTOW brothers in Japan, who prefer to be called herbivore men. But what's scary, gentlemen, is that with all this awakening, I still see the Latino community predominantly female-led. And when I see that, I see brothers hurting. That is not natural. I want my Latino brothers to wake up. I want to see the Latino brothers happy in the MGTOW community, just as the rest of us are. And where does this deep-seated female-led gynocentrism in the Latino community come from? Well, that's a very interesting question, brothers. And all I have is speculation. Could it be that their deity is generally the Virgin Mary, otherwise known as Maria, as opposed to a male deity or male figure of God? Generally speaking, the Latino community comes from a very Catholic background. And generally speaking, the Catholic faith in the Latino community views the Virgin Mary as the supreme being. I mean, most of you have probably seen the cultural artifact that still resonates today of the Virgin Mary with the little baby angel lifting her up and the holy light shining on her. Mind you, they don't have an imagery of, let's say, Yahushua or Jesus Christ or Jehovah. No, their imagery is specifically and exclusively the Virgin Mary. Now, what happens when you have a faith where their deity is this woman, this human woman who gave birth by immaculate conception? Well, you have a number of things, such as woman is God, sex is bad, Virgin Mary had a baby with no sex, she can deny sex to her men, and a number of other things. But what I'm getting at is that that's just one aspect of why we see gynocentrism so deep in the Latino community. Another thing is this. Do you know that, let's say in the United States of America, in most nations, when a man and a woman get married, that woman takes on the husband's last name. And the children their last name is the husband's last name. But get this, in the Latino community, a husband and a wife who have a child, that child's last name is the mother's last name. I'll give you an example. Let's say a man and a woman meet and get married. Now the man's name is Juan Rodriguez, and the woman's name is Maria Lopez. And they have a child by the name of Carlos. Okay? So Juan Rodriguez and Maria Lopez have a son named Carlos. You would think since the father's last name is Rodriguez, his name would be Carlos Rodriguez. No, in the Latino community, his middle name is his father's last name, and his last name is his mother's last name. He is Carlos Rodriguez Lopez. That is his legal name. His legal, official last name is his mother's. So that's just two examples. You have their deity, which is a woman, the Virgin Mary, and the female-led relationship having last names of their mother, not their father. So it's a number of things that is happening where we see the Latino community, even in 2022, predominantly female-led, gynocentric, and this is two prime reasons why I'm not confident if MGTOW could survive in a Latino nation or Latino community. However, I want our Latino brothers to understand that they have sovereignty, they have choice, they have the red pill or the blue pill, and they have a right to be free. Now, sadly, what we do see a lot of in the Latino community is the Achilles heel that is woman worship. Okay, so this is point number 3. Woman worship. Sad to say, my Latino brothers still pander to women. I mean, if she has 2 X chromosomes, these men pander to her like she is God. Now, there's an ongoing stereotype that, these Latino men worship women, and even more so if she happens to be white or Caucasian. And I gotta say, I haven't really seen that into fruition, but that's an ongoing stereotype. But furthermore, that just exacerbates the problem with woman worship in the Latino community. Point number 4 is a big one. Now, you often hear that Latino nations, particularly Mexico, Puerto Rico, you often hear that these places are machismo, or in other words, it means macho. So these nations have a rumor of being very, very strong man, me Tarzan, you Jane type of environments, but that is entirely bullshit. If any of my brothers have lived in Latino nations or visited for extended amount of times, man, the machismo shit, it's fake. It's an act to really impress their wife or their girlfriend, and they go home and live a female-led relationship. Like, it's very interesting that the Latino community has this machismo stereotype, but underneath that, it's extremely gynocentric. These men pander to women intensely. And as a matter of fact, you see more of the machismo, the macho hoorah bullshit from Latino women. Now, that's a valid argument. If you were to tell me the women are machismo, yeah, I believe that. Don't be fooled, brothers, that any place outside of the US just has feminine, submissive women. Latin America, those women run those men. Now, granted, they don't carry themselves like sloppy bulldykes here in the United States or England or Australia or Canada, granted. But these women are on the husky side, and they don't believe in male-led relationships. That is not their MO. So we see a lot of machismo, but it is definitely from the women, particularly the women who are married. But yeah, I really do want to see our Latino brothers waking up. It's kind of unfair that all of us brothers are on the winning path. And I look around and it's beautiful to see men from all nations. It's fucking beautiful. But I'm like, where are our Latino brothers? So, you know, I want to hear more from you guys. I don't know a whole lot of Latino MGTOWs, and even more seldom are ones who make content. Back in 2015, when I was initially active on my channel, there was a member by the name of Mexican MGTOW. I was not a fan of his content, and in my humble opinion, Mexican MGTOW was kind of an agent. I just felt that guy was just an actor who just showed up on the scene, made a generic screen name like Mexican MGTOW, and just was kind of the Latino representation of the red pill. His content was not, in my opinion, it just wasn't really anything to write home about, and I kind of feel he's an agent. But I would like to see true MGTOWs from the Latino community, and specifically share your experiences. I mean, let's run down the list. Virgin Mary being God, your mother's last name is your last name, female pandering, especially you brothers who grew up with a sister, my goodness, that must have been hell. Machismo relationships with the hoorah big strong woman and the obedient husband. Latino brothers, share your experiences, you know, but hit me up in the comments section below. Like, subscribe, you know, this is a very interesting topic that I would love to speak more about. So I'll leave you with that, brothers. MGTOW, we gotta find our Latino brothers. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, and believe.